Welcome to our YouTube channel IAS Talk. In this, we are going to cover analysis of three major newspapers: The Hindu, The Times of India, and The Tribune. Today is 2nd of January, and we are going to cover and we will provide you in-depth analysis on the latest news and events happening around the world, breaking down the top headlines and providing context and perspective on the stories that matters the most. So let's first do the analysis on the Tribune newspaper. We can see here in our editorial page, there's an article that comes under the statement. This is about a island nation Fiji, and this article is covered under international affairs. So what this article is, it's about quadrilateral security dialogue, which is a short form, is an acronym they used as a quad. And this is a group comprising India, Japan, Australia, and US. And in this, the article is providing a detailed information, what's happening in the background and how Quad is facing its major challenge in Fiji. सो इसकी अगर बैकग्राउंड में थोड़ा सा देखें, फिजी वेयर ethnic Indians make up majority of population is becoming a battleground for China and US in Oceania. और वहाँ का अभी एक प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो न्यूली इलेक्टेड प्राइम मिनिस्टर है फिजी का, सितविनी रबुका, जो कि थोड़ा सा प्रो वेस्टर्न स्टांस का है. सो उससे पहले का जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर था, उसके थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्ट था चाइना की तरफ से, लेकिन करंट जो उनका प्राइम मिनिस्टर है उसका थोड़ा सा प्रो वेस्टर्न स्टांस है. सो व्हाट हैपनिंग इन द बैकग्राउंड इज, so he's not providing much help on the China angle. So China is trying to influence the politics and other internal affairs of this island nation. So बट इसमें जो फिजी का प्राइम मिनिस्टर है, उसको उसकी तरफ से ज्यादा उसको हेल्प नहीं मिल रही है. सो चाइना angered by Rabuka and rejection because of his rejection of bilateral security treaty, and now it is likely that China will try to oust the new government. सो इसमें अगर इंडिया का एंगल देखा जाए तो इसमें हम ये देख सकते हैं कि इंडिया हैज ए historical background in this situation. India has a history of cultural, linguistic, religious, and ethnic ties with Fiji, and has a strong interest in preventing the country from falling under China influence. So India has offered to expand its defense and security cooperation with Fiji, और इंक्लूड किया है इसने कि हम आपको असिस्टेंस देंगे डिफेंस ट्रेनिंग में भी, एंड वी विल इंक्रीज योर कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग. इसमें फिजी इज important for China due to China's one China policy. We can provide you more detail about one China policy. So one China policy क्या है, is a diplomatic stance है that recognize that People's Republic of China, जो कि PRC है, uh, उसको एक legitimate government of China के एंगल में उसको मानना देती है. इसमें कंसिडर किया जाता है कि जो ताइवान है is an integral part of China. So this policy has adhered by most countries around the world and is an important aspect of China foreign relations. Under this policy, countries that have diplomatic relations with PRC do not have official diplomatic relations with Taiwan and do not recognize Taiwan as an independent sovereign state. लेकिन इंडिया इस पॉलिसी को ज्यादा मानना नहीं देता है. So this is another story. So Fiji is dependent on China for its import and export is a lot. But India is also increasing its economic engagement in the country. The Quad will need to carefully balance its interest in Fiji with its commitment to non-interference in diplomatic affairs of other countries. So this is the overall picture of this article. So guys, जो इस article के main points हैं, I'm going to provide you in a attachment. You can see the link below. जो कि highlight किए हैं मैंने, तकरीबन 9 points हैं, which would be more better and useful for you in your future endeavors as well. और इसी पेज पे हम देख सकते हैं कि दूसरा आर्टिकल है which is also covered under international affairs. इसका नाम है डेंजरस मैनूवर्स. सो ये एक और आर्टिकल है, इट्स द कन्फ्लिक्ट बिटवीन यूएस एंड चाइना एज वेल. It looks like China is influencing everywhere and is coming across different countries and on different platforms. So what happened in this article is a dangerous close encounter between Chinese and American military planes occurred in South China Sea. आपने recently न्यूज़ ये पढ़ी होगी. This incident is a part of pattern of Chinese military action that have the potential to escalate into hostilities. ऐसा ही एक सिमिलर इंसिडेंट पहले हुआ था इन 2001, जिसमें इन्होंने यहाँ पे जिक्र किया है. What happened is this incident was known as Hainan incident, where Chinese planes collided with the US plane. So what happening is Western countries, including the US, compromised after Hainan incident due to their reliance on China's supply chain. Now, China's aggression in the South China Sea, a major shipping route, has repeatedly threatened global trade. And also, China has also conducted military drills and entered Taiwan airspace multiple times. So, China is the only nation in Indo-Pacific region that doesn't follow international laws. जो South China Sea है, is essential for global trade, including the transportation of energy and semiconductor chips. और जो लास्ट इन्होंने मेन पॉइंट इसमें जो जिक्र किया वो है इंटरनेशनल लॉज जो अलाउ करते हैं फ्रीडम ऑफ द मूवमेंट एंड द ऑपरेशंस एट द सी and in international airspace with regard for the safety of all vessels and aircraft. So इसमें जो क्वाड का क्या रोल है? The Quad, a group of countries including जो मैंने पहले भी बताया यूएस, जापान, इंडिया एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया should expand and become a multilateral organization to ensure a free and open Indo-Pacific region. अभी इसमें से इन दिस आर्टिकल दो क्वेश्चंस जो हैं मुझे लग रहा है कि आपको अंडरस्टैंडिंग होनी चाहिए. फर्स्ट इज व्हाट इज इंटरनेशनल वाटर्स. अगर हम इंटरनेशनल वाटर्स को देखें तो इट्स अंडर यूनाइटेड नेशन कन्वेंशन ऑन लॉज ऑफ सी में इसको एक्सप्लेन किया गया. व्हाट इट इज, इट्स नोन एज द हाई सीज are the areas of the ocean that are under the jurisdiction of any particular country. These are international waters. They are open to all countries for use and are governed by international law, which is detailed and जो इसके rights और responsibilities हैं is detailed under UNCLOS, जिसकी full form है the United Nations Convention on the Law of Seas. So UNCLOS set out the rights and the responsibility of the countries in relation to the use of these oceans. Under this rights, countries have the right to explore, exploit, conserve, and manage the natural resources of the ocean, including the living resources of the sea, the mineral resources of the seabed, and subsoils as well. And the economic zone that extends 200 nautical miles, which is around 370 kilometers from their coastlines. जो 200 nautical miles की मैंने बात की है, that covers economic zone. So इसमें दो चीजें आ गई हैं. First is international waters, जिसको आपको पता लग गया है, जो कि UNCLOS के अंडर गवर्न किया जाता है. इसके rights and responsibilities हैं इन इंटरनेशनल वाटर्स में कंट्रीज को राइट है रिसोर्सेज को यूज करने का और उनको मैनेज करने का। लेकिन एक टर्म आती है एन इकोनॉमिक विच इज इकोनॉमिक जोन। What it is? It's an area of a ocean that is beyond the country's territorial waters. So territorial water होते हैं जो 12 nautical mile के अंदर वाला जो एरिया होता है ना, that is the territorial water of a country. So which extends to 12 nautical miles from the coast. Okay, but within 200 nautical miles of its coast, within the economic zone, a country has exclusive rights। जो 200 nautical miles वाला एरिया होता है ना, 12 से लेके 200 miles का एरिया, within that economic zone, a country has exclusive rights to exploitation and exploration of natural resources, including fish, oil, gas, and minerals। The country also has the right to regulate the transportation of the people and goods through the zone and to protect the marine environment। So this was a very important topic। इसमें we can cover this future in the future when we go through the environmental and geographical sections। Okay, so next article है जो द ट्रिब्यून में वो है टाइम टू रीबूट एरोनॉटिकल इंडस्ट्री और उसके नीचे है इंडिया मस्ट काउंटर चाइना इकोनॉमिकली। एज वी वर डिस्कसिंग अबाउट चाइना लॉट गाइस, सो आई थॉट लेट्स कवर चाइना in a go। So before we go to this article, let's cover this one। This is a very interesting topic, and the author mostly cover our India situation, how we are feeling about what we should do to counter the China in economically perspective way। So let's have a discussion on this one। So इस article के जो main points हैं वो तकरीबन 10 या 11 हैं। I will provide you the details, highlights in the attachment। Please make sure that you download that attachment and उसमें जो के important points हैं that you need to learn, or we can discuss in further in the future discussions। So in this article, India must counter China economically. What happening here is China is concerned about its relation with US and want to correct its US perception that China is either a competitor or a threat। So China's relation जो है रशिया के साथ वो है stable with open diplomatic and military channels of communication। ठीक है जी। China is opposed to the formation of bloc such as Quad, जिसको हमने पहले कवर किया है, यूएस, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, जापान एंड इंडिया, because it is intended to counter China। और जो अगला पॉइंट इस आर्टिकल में वो कवर है कि चाइना's economic growth rate has fallen due to disruption caused by COVID-19 pandemic। China does not want to challenge US economically or militarily at the moment, and its alliance with Russia is not of much help because you know what's going on around at this moment, Russia-Ukraine situation। The US and UA have different approaches to their economic dependencies on China, with the US looking to shift some business or to other countries like India, Vietnam। वो अमेरिका कह रहा है कि मैं इनसे काम करवा लूंगा अपना, while EU is not in a hurry to move away from China। So China has gained a reputation for giving aid to vulnerable countries such as Sri Lanka, Pakistan, or later on we will discuss about Nepal। वो टॉपिक भी इसमें कवर हुआ है न्यूज़पेपर में, and pushing them into a debt। But it is also lending strategy investor globally। So this is a kind of the way how China is influencing other countries। So it comes under this policy comes under China's Belt and Road Initiative, which is BRI. So इसमें क्या होता है कि BRI has not been successful as intended, but has helped China to make headway in many parts of the world. So China की economic power है, is reliant on global economy, meaning that China's leaders and policy makers are aware that economic aggression is not a viable option. India and China have a complex relationship with both cooperation and competition present. Okay, so India has a concern about China's infrastructure projects in Pakistan, Maldives, and China's military modernization and its intention in the Indo-Pacific region. So lastly, मैं जो बताना चाहता हूँ कि India has been strengthening its relation with countries in the Indo-Pacific region and the Quad in the part as a response to China's action. और इस टॉपिक में जो मेन हाईलाइट हुआ है वो है चाइनाज बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव. सो व्हाट इट इज, it's the Belt and Road Initiative, which is BRI, is a development strategy proposed by Chinese government that aims to boost economic development in countries along the old Silk Road. तो उसमें क्या होता है कि इस प्रोजेक्ट इस इनिशिएटिव में China is developing infrastructure projects such as roads, railways, ports, and airports, as well as energy and telecommunication projects. So, this is what is covered in this article. So, I will provide you all the details, the highlights of this article in the attachment where you can download it and read it and learn it. So, let's move on to our next article, the time to reboot aeronautical industry. सो ये काफी ज्यादा वैसे इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक नहीं है, बट वी कैन कवर अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस एज अ काइंड ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी में भी कह सकते हैं कि ये कवर हो जाएगा, और इंटरनेशनल अफेयर्स भी इसमें हो सकता है, और मे बी you can see a line or maybe couple of multiple choice question in prelims. So this is not of much importance, but it has couple of points where we can reflect on India's economy, or how India is helping our infrastructure. So let's see what's in this. This article is written by a retired Air Vice Marshal. You can see here Manmohan Bahadur. So in this article, he mentioned, this aircraft जो यहाँ पे show किया गया इस picture में C295. This is a very, very, very heavy project. So C295 Transport Aircraft Acquisition Project for Indian Air Force has been in development for a long time and has been seen as a solution to issues facing the country's aircraft industry. It took like more than 7 decades after the establishment of Hindustan Aeronautical Limited. उसके इस्टेब्लिशमेंट के 7 साल हो चुके हैं, लेकिन अभी तक ये प्रोजेक्ट है जो कि पूरा होने का नाम नहीं ले रहा है. सो व्हेन HAL was founded, there were hopes for the development of an indigenous aircraft industry in India. But these hopes were not realized due to lack of suitable engine and the lack of research and development and manufacturing in the sector. So other countries, if you look at the other countries such as our neighbor China and Brazil, have successful aviation industries due to well researched and thought out strategic plans. So अभी इंडिया की रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, क्या इसमें कर सकते हैं कि we could cover these challenges. So three things we can do. The requirement in this industry is the aviation sector requires a steady supply of skilled professionals, and the government must focus on providing quality education in specialized aviation institutes to make aerospace engineering attractive to young people. The Tatas, the Indian manufacturers for the C295 projects, could also sponsor engineering students. और सेकंड पॉइंट है इसमें, डिस्पाइट द क्लेम्स दैट मेंटेनेंस रिपेयर्स एंड इसका जो इकोसिस्टम है होता है ओवरऑल एमआरओ इकोसिस्टम, जैसे हम गाड़ी की अपनी सर्विसेज वगैरह करवाते हैं, will be created in India. But at this moment, civil aviation fleet still send its aircraft abroad for MRO services. There are many other issues such as supply chain management and creating a favorable environment for investment, which India need to look into this. So solution इसके क्या है? Solution, if we look at the solution, uh, the government, HAL, and the Tatas must work together and address issues such as lack of supply chain, skill gap, and limited research and development in others in order to achieve long-term success in the aviation sector. The C295 project should be viewed as an opportunity to revitalize the Indian aviation industry and make it self-sufficient rather than just a replacement for the IAFs and 32 aircraft. So other countries' aviation industries serve as examples for what can be achieved with the long-term planning and focus on R&D and manufacturing capabilities. The government and the industry leaders must prioritize the development of skilled workforce and supportive ecosystem in order to achieve success in the aviation sector. The success of C295 project will depend on addressing issues such as supply chain, skill gap, and limited R&D on creating favorable environment for the investment. सो ये था ये टॉपिक, और इसमें ना द ट्रिब्यून में एक आगे थोड़े से एक हेडलाइन थी, जो लूला दा सिल्वा है, ब्राजीलियन प्रेसिडेंट है, ही इज बीन इनॉग्रेटेड third time as a president of Brazil. So I just want to cover that bit in this section as well. So जो नेक्स्ट है वी कैन सी, हमारे पास अगला टॉपिक है, नेपाल का जो पीएम है opens airport built with China's help. This is what we were discussing earlier. This is what's happening here is Nepal's Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, जिसको प्रचंडा भी बोलते हैं as a nickname, the Priya, a flagship project of Nepal-China Belt and Road Initiative (BRI), which we discussed earlier, cooperation constructed this airport is constructed with China's Chinese loan assistance. So Prime Minister or Nepal also requested the Chinese government to facilitate the opening of border crossing from Nepal to China and to assist in the construction of railway services and other projects. So this is a very critical things. We can see how China is influencing its way around the country. So now we can see this is another topic which we can cover in our international issues. And now this cover. So let's move to our next article. You have prioritized welfare of small marginal farmers. So this article is providing us a detailed information how the policies of India's are affecting the marginal farmers and what priorities should be there to address these issues. So इसमें ऑथर ने बात की है डायरेक्ट मनी ट्रांसफर की, DMT schemes की. And this DMT scheme are replacing kind subsidy scheme in India. Linking bank accounts with phone numbers and Aadhaar has facilitated the implementation of DMT schemes. Digitalization of land records has provided has improved targeting and efficiency and reduced leakage in DMT schemes. We all know that. अभी क्या है कि the central government has implemented the PM Kisan scheme. If you guys know, it's providing financial assistance to farmers for purchasing farm inputs. So इसमें क्या होता है कि जो प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि है, PMKISAN, is a direct income support scheme by the central government. Under this scheme, financial assistance of rupees 6,000 per year is provided to small and marginal farmer household in three equal installments. The intended purpose of the assistance is to help the farmers purchase farm inputs such as seed, fertilizers, and pesticides. और the PM Kisan scheme है is exclusively for landowner farmers and is currently being implemented across the country. So ये जो DMT scheme has allowed farmers to cover a significant portion of cash expenses and reduce their reliance on the high interest loans. So DMT scheme have had a higher implementation rate and fewer exclusion errors compared to other schemes such as procurement at minimum support price. So the investment in agriculture has decreased in recent years. There's a need for increased investment in productivity enhancing schemes and infrastructure in agriculture sector. So इसका solution क्या है कि there is also need for stable policy conditions to encourage private sector investment in agriculture. Government should consider alternative approaches such as providing direct income support to all the farmers rather than just select crop and regions. There should also be a focus on addressing the root cause of farmers' distress, such as low price, lack of access to market. So there is a need of greater transparency and accountability in the implementation of DMT schemes, improving the efficiency and effectiveness of DMT scheme through the use of technology. So there should be a focus on improving the accessibility and awareness of the scheme to the farmers. So this was our topic about the farming DMT scheme. So the Tribune का last article है developed third aircraft carrier. Better airfields on islands say Pal panel. So this is a parliamentary panel जिसने कुछ recommend किया है. So what they recommended is covered in this article. So what they mention here is a parliamentary standing committee has suggested the need of a third sea going aircraft carrier. So the committee believes that the reach and the flexibility of the carrier is superior to military airfields on island territories. It has recommended the creation of military infrastructure on Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep. The committee discussed between the use of a carrier in offensive operation versus airfield on islands. This committee is headed by BJP MP Jual Oram. He presented its recommendation in the parliament during the winter session. The committee stated that island territories are strategic for the power projection and that mobile military assets such as aircraft carriers are necessary for defense and offensive operations at sea. It's recommended that the military of the defense consider the development of third aircraft carrier. Some island territories are strategic, located for blocking and dominating routes. The Navy is supporting the development of a joint user airfield on Minicoy Islands. So this was overall everything from the Tribune newspaper. So in our next discussion, we are going to we will go through the other newspaper, the Hindu and the Times of India. Thank you. And guys, just a kind request. Of course, Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends and family. Your support help us to continue producing high quality content and bring us one step closer to achieving our goal of becoming the go-to destination for informed and insightful newspaper review. Thank you for tuning in, and we can't wait to share more with you in the future. See you later.